That's actually remarkable. That's actually remarkable.
Pretty sure Blue right now, like his voice is like out of commission.
Props to Phil.
Poor
That's
guy.
right.
He sounded terrible
That's
with his last video.
Anyway, it's been a minute since our last podcast with each other, so we have a lot to catch up on. I'm your host, Blue Squadron, joined as always by my co-host. We'll start with Blonde.
Hello, I'm Blonde Bear, and I like to party. And, you know, I'm just chilling and grinding. Catch me on twitch.tv/blondebear.
All right. B before the B.
Order 66.
Hey,
hi, my name is Jakun. My awakening was made with 770.
Yeah, I missed 65. That's a rip.
PvE content such as Olins, dungeons. I recently hit my
that is a rip
and posted that video on my YouTube with some fun edits here and there. And you can find me live over at twitch.tv/JakunVT. V before the T.
Gosh, I need to do my crops.
Right on. Of course, we have our fashion show going as always. I'm sure you guys already shared your thoughts about the Heidelball and stuff, but now we've already been delivered Dosa, and there's been some
Dosa
on Dosa being delivered to us here. So I'm curious what your guys' thoughts are. Are you guys playing Dosa like still since it came out, or Blonde, you just have a Dosa for fun? I think that Jay's been playing it a little bit too, but all
right, let's do it.
Jay.
Yes, I've been playing it since the Global Labs and official launch, and my first impressions have been really, really positive in terms of like gameplay, aesthetics, and mechanics. It's an extremely easy class to start learning to the point where you can literally hold two
very
buttons
easy
down, which are left click and right click, since abilities will just naturally flow by holding those two buttons. But of course, it has more in-depth mechanics beyond that. It's a fairly protected class and has great sustain for both HP and MP, so you don't really need infinite pots. And overall, I would highly recommend this to someone who's never played BDO before to start picking up and learning the game with. And yes, I've heard the concerns with it not being like OP, like, you know, some other class releases. So I have a feeling that's why people have been saying negative things about it, because it's not, you know, it's not a top tier SSS plus tier class. But hey,
yeah, I agree.
Some amazing other stuff that, you know, he's more than just being a good performer, you know.
Yeah,
I need to fix my crop too.
Right, Jay?
Yeah.
In the
crap.
greatest way possible. He's definitely a very attractive character. Yeah.
Hold
I haven't had
on.
a new boy toy in like 5 years.
5 years. 5 long years.
No way. Is
Did
it?
Archer come out 5 years ago?
Has it been really? There's no way it's been 5 years.
Yeah, something like that.
No, I think Archer came out like 4 years ago.
No way.
Right? Like Archer.
Has it really been that long?
Not a boy toy.
Sorry,
well,
did I say 5 years? I meant in 5 classes is what I meant.
Okay.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I'm about to say.
Yeah,
Well,
I
it
was
feels
gonna
like
say.
5 years.
Feels like
Yeah.
5 years.
I feel like Archer.
There's no way it's been 5
definitely
years.
Might not be a boy toy, but he's a boy that plays with certain toys. If you catch my drift. Blonde. How do you feel
Yo,
about
see Aiden.
Dosa?
Appreciate you stopping by and catching up,
I like
man.
it so far. I think a lot
Hope
of the
you have a
criticisms are
good
like
night.
any
Hope work goes well
immediate
for you.
release class. There's some bugs. There's some issues. Yeah, it's not OP. I think as long as people provide feedback, just like they did with Scholar, we'll be able to give that feedback to Pearl Abyss, and they can make the class more playable. I've had some issues with it, some of the movements, I haven't played since the update actually Wednesday, but it does have some issues, or it did, with some of the movement or the collision or certain things. But I think that it's just like not every class is going to play the same, so you have to just kind of figure out what class works for you and the way you want to play it. And I mean, I've been enjoying it so far. I might be main swapping the tag from Scholar to Dosa. He's a lot of fun. He's got a giant sword. I mean, the aesthetic alone is really, really cool. And it's funny because when he got announced however many months ago, like we got the initial picture, I'm like, pipe guy with a sword, boring. But then you actually play it and it's like, oh, okay, if they keep making baby easy classes for me to play,
baby easy classes.
I'm kind of gonna enjoy the ease of access to a new class, as long as they have like a eventual high ceiling for skill for other things. If you like that, I like it so far. I like it a lot. I think it just takes time to get the real gamers playing the class for PA to kind of look at it and fix it, you know.
Honestly, I have mixed reviews on it. I played it the day it came out because I got back from Europe on basically the day that it released on live servers. So
what's your thoughts, Blue?
Okay, my initial impressions of the class. It has unit collision on way too many of the movement skills that say it doesn't have unit collision. And it is
super
so
annoying.
incredibly frustrating. You get stuck on every Giffen mob. You get stuck on every
little rock.
desert Nagas, every rock, every little thing you get stuck on. And that's my
Pretty sure they
biggest
fixed
gripe with
that.
Class. I think it's really easily fixable, but here's the thing. Like, normally I would trust them to fix stuff like this, but like, bro, Awakening Megu, we were like, oh yeah, it's just missing a passive indicator, but aside from that, very well designed class, super fun. We expect them to add the passive indicator anytime now, and we are still waiting for that passive indicator like a year and a half later. Like, they still haven't released it. So like, yes, they cleaned up some of Dosa's like cooldowns on his skills, but like, they haven't addressed any of the bugs as far as I'm aware. With the movement, which I think is like the overwhelming like problem with it. In terms of overall class design, I do think that the class is very well designed. Like Jay said, I think that like it's really easy to pick up and play for new players. It's got a decently high skill ceiling for players that want to like dive into it, or veteran players that know how to play the game already, or players that really just want to dive in and learn it like on like a spiritual level. And it's a traditional Succession Awakening class, which you know, we didn't get to see. The last time that a class came out, we got Scholars. So very interesting that we got a Succession in this case. Also, we asked for a collab, and he's sponsored by Pepsi, which is pretty cool.
Wait, what?
Yeah. Yeah. But like, I think overall,
didn't get a collab.
Yeah, the class design really, really solid. I think that it has a lot of potential. I think that it does. I think its damage is probably 10 or 15% too low. Just like on the critical skills. Like, I just don't feel like it's doing enough damage in capped PvP. I have not admittedly tested it in uncapped PvP. But like, Jay, maybe you can speak on it. I don't know if you've done AOS with it, or even Blonde.
I have
but
not done PvP with Dosia, just mostly in PvE. I mean, as with all new classes, there is going to be, you know, adjustment period. That's what we saw with, you know, Scholar, right? They literally, didn't they like speed up every single ability for Scholar?
Yes,
like
she got attack speed buffs, and then also animation speed buffs, and also AoE increases on a lot of her abilities. So, although we didn't see like a lot of PvP changes for her, so that is kind of one of the weird things where it's like, I mean, we don't really hear about it doing crazy OP and PvP, so I don't know. I don't know if they're really listening on that front.
I don't.
What do you think about the? What do you think about the unique class mechanic for this class, which is like the parry mechanic?
I honestly couldn't love it more. To be honest with you, I think that it is a W mechanic. I think that they should introduce like a grab parry mechanic for every non-grab class in the game. Like just like a split
this is the first time, right?
Yeah.
We can counter a grab, right?
Yeah.
Besides moving out of the way.
Yeah, like a split-second skill where like.
Oh, you can counter a grab.
It creates mind games for your
that's kind of cool.
It gives you some sort of.
I didn't know that.
With grab
I knew you could parry. I didn't know you can counter a grab from it though.
He just beats me because he has a skill and I don't. Like, I think for a really long time, people have accepted in Black Desert that like you either have a grab or you don't, and then like if you don't have a grab, you just have to do all of these things to play around a grab. And to be honest with you, every single grab matchup into non-grab matchup boils down to the same basic one-dimensional principle, and that is I'm gonna grab them, right? It's the non-grab classes like attempt to avoid a grab, and then the grab classes attempt to get a grab. There's
grab,
no
yeah.
mechanics going on. There's no like attempted.
Everyone's like kind of scared.
Like thing. I'm sorry, I got distracted by
baiting
thing.
into either in a grab or not a grab.
Like
it's annoying.
There's no other like attempt at different mechanics and stuff. So I think that grabs just overall are just very poorly designed mechanics in BDO. And like, although some classes like Sork, for example, has a lot of tools to try to evade a class and maybe doesn't need a parry mechanic. Something like an Awakening Witch could absolutely use one, because like otherwise you just you can't play the game like at all.
Yeah, it's hard.
PvP. Like small scale, large scale, 1v1 doesn't matter. The solution is always going to be to grab you. And like you're just only playing around that one skill, and it's very frustrating. So like I personally really love the parry mechanic, and I think they should introduce it to more classes. Hot take, but it is what it is.
Yeah, I love that they're introducing more of these like sort of like unique what is it? Perks or whatever, because it's similar to like Wusa's Reflect, Megu's Clone, Corsair's Forward Guard debuff. I think Scholar is the only one with a healing reduction debuff, and like she scales with like, you know, jump height and stuff like that. So yeah, the parry. Also, for viewers who don't know exactly what the parry does, when you Q block, you will negate the attack you took and be in super armor for about like a split second, which reduces all your incoming damage by 99%. And additionally, it will restore 1000 HP. And you can also follow up with a counter attack. And then as we discussed before, you can parry grabs, which is, again, this is the first time.
That's pretty
using,
crazy.
like,
Yeah, I didn't know you
classic
could parry
and
grabs.
essentially counter a grab besides moving out of the way. This is on a 6-second cooldown though, and will only go on cooldown on successful parry. So you can kind of spam it. It does have a gap in between Q blocking. I haven't tested how tight the timing is of the parry, but it does seem, I mean, at least from the clips I've seen, it's like a fairly forgiving window, but obviously desync will be a thing. So
Yeah,
guess
about to
we'll
say
see how it
desync.
fares
I
in the
feel like it'd
long
be kind of
run.
hard.
But yeah, now he's pretty much my permanent tag to my Wusa, and this is my first time tagging something other than Shy for the past 4 years. So it's been really exciting to learn a new class. So
Oh. But you had a witch before. Didn't you tag the Wusa when Wusa came out, or did you just immediately roll the weapon?
So I rolled to the Wusa from Witch, and my Shy was still my tag.
Oh my god.
You completely abandoned it.
I didn't completely ban my Witch. She's my life skiller now. She has one of my life skill clothes.
Completely
Oh,
abandoned.
I see. We have a Biseptimus Prime situation going on. He's still a warrior main. He just
hanging
plays
up the
Witch.
old robes.
Yeah, he just plays Witch in PvE. 1v1s, small scale and large scale PvP. Also for bartering and life skilling, but he's still a warrior main. You know what I mean? It's a very similar situation going on. So yeah, honestly, I think he's pretty well designed. He's definitely got a really cool like theme and everything. One of the big gripes that I do have with the class, because I'll just pick, you guys are just sucking it off right now. So like I got to bring down the mood a little bit. I don't like the cloud stuff. I'm gonna be honest with you. Like, I was nervous about it to begin with. I think the cloud mechanics themselves, like, they should have made it look more like a cloud instead of that stupid mist that we see in Node Wars, where like if you walk over a stun trap, it explodes, and then there's like this white like cloud around you. It's really annoying. Like, I don't feel like I can see my character when I'm playing him, and it's very frustrating. Like, I find the cloud mechanic just incredibly frustrating, and that's part of the things that drive me away from the class.
I kind of like it.
Already looking at it. Blonde, you seem to agree with me.
I wish you could tone it down. Like if there was an opacity meter just for that. Because it is a lot.
I feel like you can turn it down. Right?
You can turn the opacity meter down, but that turns down everything. And
yeah,
there are some other stuff I'd like to see.
I actually thought Blonde was trolling me. I actually thought he was like, dang, if only there was a way we could turn it down, like an opacity meter of some kind. And then Jay was going to follow, but yeah, man, if only that existed. You know what I mean? Like, no, it does exist. You can turn down effect opacity, but that turns down everything. Like, I had to turn it down for Gif and Raza, and then I couldn't see which buff I had.
You also can't see what loot you've left on the ground too, and that's sorry, that's a big deal to me.
Yeah, like I have to turn it down to like 30%. Like literally, I have to turn it down to like 30% to even be able to see my character. Which is frustrating for me because like I normally like having effects on all the way because like
it's beautiful.
Looking at the beautiful effects in the game. That's part of the reason we all play the game. But like, yeah, I don't think that they designed the cloud effects very well. I just get like I know it's a hot take, but like everybody just loves Dosa and everything, but like the clouds could have been done way better in a way that isn't
a lot of mobs right here.
Still allows you to see your character.
Goodness gracious.
Or like there is a fix here. They could like give your character like a black outline or like darken your character when the clouds come up, but only for you, right? Like so like you can still see what you were doing and what was going on.
Yeah,
all right, I see you.
Yeah, like that's something. But even still, and then in PvP, there's just if there's too many doses, it's just a white. It's like it's like that movie, The Mist. You know what I mean? You just walk in, you don't know where anything is. I
actually would love that outline idea for every class. Like I could just see the outline of my character because I can, depending on how many stuff is on screen, especially when there's a lot of people in one place doing like PvP and stuff, it's a little bit hard to see where my character is. That would be a nice addition, just overall in the game, just an outline of the character.
I don't know if I don't think I've ever seen anybody suggest that before either. I guess with the continuous effects happening now, that would be kind of a really big deal to like add. Huh.
Yeah.
Mhm.
That's a good
Um,
forum post someone should make.
Oh, forum posts.
It's
don't
the
matter.
most annoying part of this
You
grinding
have us
spot.
confused with a
Is
couple.
this right
Unless
here?
you posted on Invent. Ironically enough,
Ay, ay, ay.
you posted on Invent. If you
Will
make
they
like
see
a
it?
Korean account, if you make like a Korean account and pretend to be Korean and then post it on Invent, you probably have a higher chance of them actually seeing it. So like, yeah, I don't know. People typically every
Bro,
time
where you at?
yeah, typically every time a class comes out, we have like we're always just like, oh my god, the effects are amazing. Megu, right? Wusa, Draconia.
Draconi is
every
pretty
other
cool.
Class that has come, it's just so incredible. The effects are so good. This is the first time I've really looked at a class and been like, I don't really like those effects. Also, and this is the hot take of the century, I don't really like Succession Megu's effects very much either. I think that Awakening looks way cooler. I think that Succession is just too much. There's too much going on. I have to turn down
is
the
really bright, yeah.
yeah. I have to turn down the effect opacity on Megu, and then it's like bearable. But like Blonde said, okay, yeah. Now I have to like now everything is turned down. It's frustrating. Like I think if they had just done a little bit less of it, the theming on the class would have been better. But hey, that's just my opinion on that. Okay, so like, what do you think?
What
of, like
do you?
hold on. What do you think of the choices on these weapons? Next, I'm going to ask about Awakening, but these weapons, the pipe. Do you feel like the pipe is like an integral part of the kit? You guys played him a lot more. I played him on the first day and decided the unit collision was just too much, and so were the clouds. But I like the Pepsi logo. But like, you guys play him more. Do you guys feel like the pipe is actually an integral part of the kit, or is it like the Dark Knight's ornamental knot, where like you don't really use it? It just kind of adds to the kit, right? It's just kind of there.
Yeah, that's what
I feel like that's kind of the case for the majority of classes. Maybe less so and more so for others. Like, you know, definitely Nova, her shield is like very like integral.
Yeah, Kuno, Ninja, all of the shield classes, they all use their offense, right? Like their Zerker's ornamental knot is not traditionally used, but like I would say there's a fair amount of cases where like they're definitely using their offhand in a lot of cases.
Like they're more in the abilities. I feel like a lot of the other like for example the shield classes, like that's like their shield versus like an ornamental knot is like, oh, it's attached to your weapon, but like it's just dangling off your axe. Like you're not really using it versus but there are some that use it and it's more prevalent in their spellcasting abilities or whatever, right? I think that just kind of depends per class. I think it's definitely an aesthetic choice, though. It's to kind of justify the smoky effect.
The smoke effects, yeah.
The dough wielding stuff, which is tied to his lore, isn't smoke based. It's all the magical abilities on top of that, right?
I was thinking they were gonna go more into because when they were describing Dosa in the Hideout Ball, it kind of felt like he would have some sort of mechanic with obscuring vision with the smoke, and I was like, wait, stealth mechanics possibly, maybe
obscuring our vision,
I was like thinking, whoa, what if there's like an AOE stealth for your party that you could do, you know, and something, and I don't know, something like that, but. It seems like it's just purely for like the smoke effects, and I guess maybe
just like a cool effect.
Summons of the fog warriors and whatnot.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, he does have that one thing where he kind of hides in the cloud for a second, and then he can move. It's like back E.
Oh yeah, backwards F. Yeah, I know what you're talking about.
Yeah,
he turns into this.
Fun. This shift space is pretty fun.
It's kind of like Hashashin at home.
Hashashin at home.
Yeah. Like that's basically like my thought process on that ability, or it's like Dark Knight's. I forget what the name of the ability, but it moves side to side. She turns into a rose and she can move left or right. And like that ability is kind of cool, but yeah, I was with Jay on this one. Like the way they painted it, it looked like like the clouds, like he was gonna be able to move around in the clouds, and like I felt like the clouds
for the Awakening.
Well, I don't know, man. I feel like the clouds were gonna be more of an integral part of the kit, like maybe like Awakening Corsair's Mist. If you get to like Awakening Corsair's Mist, if you don't know on its class buff, some of your abilities generate mist, like your forward F and your dash and stuff. And when allies stand in the mist, they get an HP regeneration buff. Right?
Come on! So come on, man!
More buffs for like standing
Stop it!
In your clouds. Instead, we got like
it's because I have a poison on. That's why. That's annoying.
Like Guardian's passive. I say the passive stacks up, and then you just have to try to keep it up by proccing certain skills. The clouds don't really help you as nearly as much as.
All right, now let's try it.
They were going to, so yeah, I completely agree about that. I wish they had gone a little bit more in that direction, but possibly the reason they didn't is because hiding him in the clouds. Like pros, no one can see my character. Cons, I can't see my character. You know what I mean? Like
Yep.
like that's kind of where we're at, and that's because of the way they chose to design the clouds. But like, there's definitely a way for them to like highlight your Dosa and like show you where he is.
Yeah.
Right. Like, and then like make it.
Yeah, make it more
visible. I
noticeable.
don't know. Definitely.
It doesn't bother me any, but
better suited there. Now let's talk about and I speculated this with chat as well, and the developers actually said in the patch notes, hey guys, give us your feedback on Awakening Dosa and what you kind of want to see from him. And I thought that was kind of weird. We've never seen them ask that before.
Huh.
Number one, of course, they're asking Korea, but like. We're going to pretend for a moment that the West and our feedback is going to reach them. And so, like, I've never seen them ask, hey, guys, give us your feedback on what weapon you want to see him use in Awakening format so that we can, like, you know, develop that way. Normally, I don't know about you guys, but, like, I was kind of hoping that Awakening was already kind of like halfway
coming
done.
out. Yeah,
You know
I agree.
what I mean? Like, instead, what I got was...
We don't have anything for Awakening.
What do you want?
Exactly.
Yeah.
We're listening to the community. Tell us what you want.
Yeah, we're beginning work on Awakening now, and you'll have it in the next 6 to 15
listening.
months.
Please tell us.
Yeah, another year.
Yeah. Very, very strange. So, like, I'm curious what your guys' thoughts on like that approach as opposed to like previous class approaches, and then we'll get into a little bit of what you think the weapon kind of should be if we're looking at the theme, because you guys are lore nerds, total losers. So, like, I think that you guys probably have a pretty good idea of what, like, from a lore standpoint would look good on him. How do you feel about this approach, though? We'll start with Jay.
This approach of asking the community what they want. Well, isn't that what we've been sort of like kind of been saying? Like, oh,
yeah, but
game's not listening to us, but
yeah. Yeah.
I see. I mean, I don't mind the approach. I don't mind either approach, whether they design it on their own or they ask the community. I'm to be honest, I'm just like along for the ride. I just hope that it just doesn't take as long as.
Oh, it's gonna take a while. It'll probably take about a year. They haven't even started it
before we got it, so.
Yeah, it'll take probably about a year.
Out by the time we get Land of Morning Light Part 2, hopefully, surely.
Yeah, I mean, like, I agree. Like, I'm thinking, bro, this is cooked now. I'm not even started.
Yeah.
Maybe it might be a Calpheon Ball situation where they reveal it on Calpheon Ball and then we get it right after the Calpheon Ball. That's also my suspicion, which is like 6 months from now, which is unfortunate.
Yeah, that's what they said, right? It wasn't going to be ready till like the same time.
Is that what they said?
Yeah, I swear I remember them saying it was going to be about 6 months. For the Awakening. Yeah, that's why they're asking for feedback now so they could start getting to it.
They better make the Magna skill and the skill enhancements good enough for us to feed us until then.
On one hand, I agree. It's like, oh, okay, hey, listen, they're literally asking the community and they're like, hey, guys, what do you guys want? And it's like, okay, cool. On the other hand, I do see what you mean, Blue, where it's like, oh, well, it depends on who they're listening to, depends on what post they read. So, I mean, if you guys really want that gunner class, just start spamming the forums and talk to all your Korean friends. And, you know, speculation-wise, I think it's going to, I don't know, why would they put Imugi in his, like, picture, right? Why would they put that in, like, his stylized picture?
What
right?
if they gave him a water dragon? We don't have any
what a lot of
other
people have been
classes that have a water dragon. That would be so cool.
That's Mystic, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yep.
But I think it's gonna be Storm Dragon though, right? Because isn't Imugi, he has like all these different elements that he uses and different stuff. I think that it's gonna be sort of like that aspect where you're utilizing different storms or something. I don't know. Be like a more ranged class, like another mage probably of some sort.
Yeah, I mean, we'll see. Like, I honestly look at this from the developer's perspective. Okay, they want us to listen to their feedback. All right, fine. All right, guys, give us your feedback. What do you mean you haven't started development on it, bro? You can't make these people happy. It's not possible to make these people happy. Now, if I will say that, to be fair, if the development time on it is still only like, I can't imagine it's going to be less than 3 months. I will be honest. Like,
no.
So you're looking at August, September, October, right? Like an October release for that class. Yeah, man, I don't know.
That's when Land of Morning Light Part 2 is coming out, right?
No. Let's be clear. Okay. All right. Do you know what really grinds my gears?
Here we go.
The fact
Yeah.
that in the ball, and this is the worst possible way that they could have presented the information, to be clear. Like, I don't know how you expect not to be flamed when you literally show us all this crazy content, this cool stuff, and then the only release date you give us
It's
is for
Korean.
one region
Yeah.
at one time. You don't even give the other regions the time of
So
day.
stupid.
We don't even know
it's pretty
when it's coming.
crazy.
It's pretty insane. Do you realize that if Blizzard said, hey guys, the World of Warcraft expansion is going to be released in North America a month and a half before it releases in the rest of the world, they would be sued for malpractice. Like, that shit would be crazy. No other company does this because they understand, like, the basic concept that a worldwide release is not only fair to your players, but it also encapsulates the idea of adventure.
Yeah, well, BDO
The
does not
entire
care.
company's slogan is
Pro
the
Abyss does
adventure
not care.
never stops. Except that is only for Korea, because the rest of us already have seen the adventure, right? By the time it reaches us, we've already watched Hugh Hotbar stream it for like 300 hours. So we already know all the mechanics. We already know exactly what's coming. Like this whole like, oh, we'll race to the first guild boss thing. Well, we already know all the mechanics. It's not fun anymore. You've sucked the fun away from the rest of the world. There's no adventure for us. I've never felt like we've had adventure like that. The only adventure that really captured me was when I first started the game and I was discovering all the new regions for the first time. And like, I wasn't really up to date on like the expansions and stuff. I was kind of just doing my own thing. And that was really cool. But like, now the game is much older now. So like everyone has seen the expansions and stuff. Everyone's kind of caught up on this stuff. And now we're just watching Korea play it, and we don't get to play it. And like their
Pretty
excuse
much.
for this every time is the same bullshit
localization.
dog water excuse, which is
Stupid.
oh well, the content's ready, so we're gonna release it in Korea first, and then when the translation's ready, we're gonna release it in the rest of the world. I hate this for two reasons. Number one, only Korea gets to give feedback. So like, it releases in Korea, Korea gives feedback, they fix it. Korea gives feedback again, they fix it, and then it releases for us. We give feedback, and they're like, "Oh no, it's already all fixed. We're done." And then they move on to the next content. So like, it makes us feel like we don't have a voice. A, B, the content is already spoiled because we know everything that is coming, and the adventure is just not there anymore. And C, I hate the fact that they say the content is finished, but it hasn't been translated yet. So you mean it's not finished then?
Right.
Because that's what that means.
Yeah.
Okay.
Wait
Like,
until it's finally
there's no
actually
sense of urgency for the
localized
translators
before
or
you
the
actually
development
submit
team
it.
to get it out in the West. They're just
So stupid.
urgent to get it out in Korea, and then the West gets it when it gets it. We saw this with Odalita as well. It took us how many months did it take us to get Odie? It was like 10 months.
It was like 8 months.
It was insane. It was crazy. It was almost a full year to get Odie. And then like we see it like Land of the Morning Light releases 2 months after too. The only reason that that went super well is because Lost Ark shit the bed at the same time the expansion happened to release. But if it had released worldwide, guess what? It would have been even bigger. It would have been even bigger and better for everyone because everyone feels that they get to have feedback. Everybody feels everyone's discovering it at the same time and everyone's just having a good time. I don't know. I'm sorry. That was a rant. I don't know how you.
It's a good
guys
rant.
feel about it, but like
You're
that,
good.
like holy moly.
No, I think everybody shares the entire frustration of the global release. I mean, I don't personally talk to the Koreans, but I don't think they even care. The main sentiment has never been, at least from the Korean side of the community, I've never seen them be like, no, we really need this way before you guys. You guys don't deserve it. You know,
Well,
it's
of
always
course.
been like, yeah, sure, it would be nice, but what are you gonna do?
Yeah,
You know,
like no, Korea's response is exactly what you would expect. That sounds like a you guys problem. Like there's they don't like why should they care about our release? But here's the thing: we are the majority. Okay, not only are we the majority, the rest of the world is the majority, and we also fund 90% of your game.
Yep.
Okay, like the rest of the world
Makes
Russia,
no
Europe,
sense.
the like NA, SA, and God forbid we include console in the discussion. MENA, right? Asia, all of those other servers, they make up the vast majority of the profit margins for Prolibus, and we're the ones getting screwed. Like it's just extremely frustrating. I don't understand why the developers don't understand this most basic concept. No other company does this. Literally no other company releases one expansion in one region first and then waits like 6 to 8 months to release everything else. Console has the same issue. God forbid we talk about that.
Yeah. gosh,
Like,
a couple
I think
years.
that Awakening Dosa, Korea might get it first.
Oh, for sure.
Like they're gonna get Soul
I mean-
first. Do you think it releases with Soul?
No, I don't think it releases Soul. I think it's actually going to take them till the end of the year to make it. I genuinely think because they asked for, they probably have. A
Yeah, it'll probably
theme
be
that's
like
going to go
December.
with it, but play style wise is what they're probably trying to figure out, and I think that's what they want to hear from the community. Whether we want like another range person, a gunner awakening, a melee awakening, I think that's what it is. I think that's what they were asking vibes for the community for.
Yeah.
I can't imagine that they wouldn't have the theme and like already kind of like the key set of abilities, and they're just trying to learn some of the. Like figure out what they want mechanically.
No, I think that they're just at the drawing table. I think that they're just
they
straight
could be.
up. Like maybe they've decided on it now, but like I'm curious. You guys are the ones that have played the class, probably some of the most of the people on the server. What do you guys feel like the awakening weapon should be? I asked my chat on the day it came out, and we had some really good ideas, but I'll share them at the end. So like, Blonde, we'll start with you. What are some like? Give me like 3 weapons. Give me like some
I don't even. I don't have a clue. I'm not a really
you don't know
creative
any at
person. You could give him a little cauldron that spills out more smoke and it has a little dragon coming out of it. I don't know. I just know thematically it's probably gonna be something with a dragon, snake, and Mugi style. But really, I have no idea. I have no brain up here for creative thinking about anything like that.
Number one.
I'm sorry.
Number one, you're a content creator. Don't tell me you don't have room for creative thinking. Number 2, hey guys, main complaint about the class is we can't see our character because there's too much smoke. And then also Blonde Bear, we should just make another pot that gives more smoke. What if there was just more smoke? All right, Jay, I have to imagine you're very good at theory crafting.
He's got a vacuum cleaner awakening.
Yeah, I'm curious, Jay. What do you think?
So I noticed something really interesting in the global labs. So you know how like certain classes have interestingly translated names. For example, Zerker is translated as giant. Mewa is translated as plum blossom. Witch for some reason is translated as location. And for Dosa,
Location? Wait,
his
really?
translated name is Taoist, as in like Taoist priest, which I did a little bit of research on what Taoist priests do because I have no idea what they do. They apparently perform exorcisms and rituals, and they believe in spiritual immortality, which I think that might lead in the direction of possibly necromancy. And we know PA has stated they were, researching on the idea of a necromancer class that fits in the world of BDO. And usually when we think of a necromancer, I think a lot of people think of the usual Western ideologies of a necromancer, which has been the aesthetic of death magic, summoning the undead, curses, blood magic. But PA is a Korean company, and it would definitely not surprise me if they went in the direction of a necromancer in a more Eastern aesthetic, like a Taoist priest or like an exorcist. And they decided to put that kind of a necromancer class in BDO. And so my idea would be, basically the Eastern necromancer exorcist kind of dealio.
That's a pretty good guess,
like a
actually.
wand or something. And
Wow.
to go even further than that, I had this idea where maybe he focused on using spirits, right? And maybe the spirits, because remember you mentioned Blonde Bear that they put a backdrop of Imugi. Maybe he could summon the spirits of the boss splits bosses. He could summon Imugi, the sea serpent. He could summon Sangoon, the tiger. Bonghwa,
That would be
the
kind of
phoenix,
nuts.
the spirits, of the bamboo legion, and borrow their power. And so that would be my wild idea. So. But yeah, we'll see you
light
guys in 6
Yagami.
months.
He's got a
Yeah,
Shinigami that he summons and it does stuff for him.
Okay,
That'd be kind of cool.
I'm gonna immediately destroy this idea, and I'm really sorry, Jay.
Really? Okay, go ahead.
I'm
Go ahead.
going to obliterate it. Okay, because it's all about the money. In this case, they're releasing the game in China. They've worked very hard to do this, and China will not allow any undead, no necromancy, sorcery.
Well, it just won't put it in China's version.
Right? They don't want bones and guts.
Yeah, well, my idea didn't involve any bones, right? It just, spirits from the bosses.
Yeah, just
right?
raising bodies from the dead. You're absolutely right.
Yeah.
I'm sure the Chinese government will
raising-
see that differently.
Yeah.
You're probably right. Yeah, that's. I've always known the Chinese government to be really lenient on technicalities. So, like, technically, this doesn't break the rules.
Technically.
You know what I
They
mean?
just won't add the class into that region.
Now, Jay's idea is really cool, and I think it would be super, super sick. The problem is, I don't think the Chinese government is going to allow
Oh my
a
gosh.
class like that. technically they could make a
PA
class
will
that
not
doesn't
add
have
that
the
class
word.
into
If they
that
do
region
make
if it does do
I will
that.
eat my words. I will kiss Jay's feet on that podcast. But the necromancer is interesting. Chat had a lot of
All right.
Chat had a lot of
I mean, didn't like the
ideas
mobile
for,
version get like
different
its
weapon
own
types,
unique
to
class
use. And to be honest with you, I'm forgetting a lot of them now.
that the
but,
other
like,
regions can't
I think
get?
that, like, one of them was like,
So-
you guys remember like Legend of Zelda has like a wind pedal that you can like wave back and forth, just like a giant leaf.
Like a leaf.
Yeah. Yeah, bro, you laughing.
So yeah, I think
you
that's.
laughing, but Woos has
big
got a
leaf.
fan.
I think Blue's
Like,
incorrect on that.
A two-handed katana. Oh yeah, the giant paintbrush. I thought the paintbrush idea was kind of lit with it.
That is kind of a cool
Um,
idea though
like a
with Jay.
Yeah. There are some femboy furries
Definitely could be
that
pretty
wanted
possible.
claws.
Heck
You know what I mean?
yeah.
Oh,
like white claws.
what is it called? A
And
transformation.
even if they went that
class?
route,
What's the other
they
one
just
for
won't add
transformation?
that
Like,
class
shapeshifting.
to the
That's what
Chinese
it's called.
version.
Uh-huh.
Simple as
So
that.
shapeshifting
Yeah.
class?
Like
All the other regions will have
even
it,
just
but China won't.
shapeshifting, Like that would be too much. Like again, Jay said that probably wasn't going to be a thing. But like just like taking out his claws and then just like I don't know. You guys play Wuthering Waves?
Like Wolverine.
I think
No.
Wuthering Waves.
Like the furry guy in Wuthering Waves. I forget his name. That guy.
The little panda guy who
Yeah, he gets
punches.
claws and then he like his ult is like
Let me
really
look him
weird.
up.
But like
Wuthering
yeah.
Waves Panda.
Yeah. A lot of people Ling Yang, yeah. Another sword. Yeah, Chad is super
Another sword.
it's just like awakening
Makes
ninja,
sense.
just give him another sword. Like I literally like the first 3 responses are all right, Chad. What do you guys want to see? And they're like, another sword. I'm like,
Another
"Okay."
sword.
So I was like,
A bigger
okay,
sword, yeah.
2 swords. Okay, what's the next objection? What's the next one? And then
Two
Chad's like,
dual wield great swords.
What if he
What
had
about 3
3
swords?
swords? Yeah. We got all that to like 6.
Soro.
I'm like, what are we doing? Like,
Well, his pre-awakening deals with the 2 different sides of the dough-wielding magic, right? Like that's what the Pepsi symbol comes from, is the red and the blue, and he mixes them together. I'm curious if his awakening would separate those into 2 different blades.
oh, so you think he's gonna have?
Oh,
red
boy.
animations? Like he's gonna
Come
have, like,
on.
Like red on one sword, blue on the other sword, and he like weaves them in different ways.
See.
Well,
Or
Ah,
maybe it's like
dang it.
okay.
sort of like Witch Wizard, where they have the alternate skills in their succession tree, where you can choose a different skill. I'm curious if he would have something similar to that as well. I mean, it's highly doubtful. But
Oh, you know that
you know.
one character in League? What's his name? He's like he uses like a sun,
Helios?
and you can be
Oh,
like blue
yeah.
or red. You know what I'm talking about?
Kane.
Kane. That's what his name. Yeah.
Yeah.
Maybe that kind of
Honestly,
situation.
It would fully express the virginity of the class in the lore if
See.
they gave him that. I think that it would help. It's definitely lore accurate
Come on.
in that case.
We're getting there.
I actually like Blonde Bear's idea.
We're getting there.
Like, so hear me out. Now I'm kind of cooking. Okay. So you have the blue and red banana. You got the blue in Succession, and then in Awakening, you go with the red, but it's a red, white, and blue class at that point because you get the white clouds, the blue in Succession, then you get the red in Awakening. So it's a red, white, and blue. USA, and you can't have USA without guns.
USA.
Okay, you can't spell America without guns.
Oh my
okay?
gosh.
a red gun and a blue gun.
That's right. So then you just give him
It's a
guns.
gun class.
Yeah,
I
just
see.
give him
Yeah.
some guns. Right.
That would be very American of him.
That would be. I like the guns. The guns would
Yeah.
also fulfill their
That would be-
promise. To be honest with you, the guns
that'd
would
be
also
nuts.
fulfill their promise that they gave us.
It would fulfill the
Um,
promise, and it would build a lot of the hype around it coming out right around the time that the expansion comes out. So then tons of people will be playing when the expansion comes out, which makes PA look good.
There it is. There it is.
Wow.
Yeah. And since we don't have,
Blonde figured it out.
yeah, since we don't have another gun class, rest in peace, Corsair. Like I think it'd be the first of its kind that anyone actually cares about. So I think it'd be pretty cool. I think the 2 guns is probably. I think the red guns. Red
What
guns.
about like a gun blade?
Be kind of cool.
A sword and a gun.
Yeah.
So just like Awakening Corsair, then, like literally, like an identical. Just what if we named it a Mareka?
Oh, do you know that one character, Bayonetta? She has like boot
No,
guns.
no. You can't bring those. People were talking about like a chain sword, and I said you can't give him a chain sword. That weapon is reserved for female classes only.
Hold on.
Because when we I'm talking about like Ivy, like the sword, like it's like a whip. You know what I mean? Like a sword whip.
Oh.
Sword.
You know what I mean? Like a whip
Oh.
sword, right? That is a female only aesthetic. If you give that to a male, I will threaten to quit the game. God is my witness, or I will make it. You make that a male class, I will make it she her. People will look at it and be like, that is a mystic. You know what I mean?
They've done that for Archer already, so
yeah, Archer. You can already do that with Archer. Like, honest to God, bro, the whip has to be a female class. So like, it can't be a whip, can't be a chainsword. I do think that the gun delivers on the two promises. I actually think that you could design it. So
I don't think it'll be a gun.
Absolutely hits the Dosa thematic. I don't know. I kind of like it. Like Jay's necromancy idea, definitely the coolest one.
Yeah.
I think Jay's more accurate, honestly.
In my opinion. I don't know. Tell us what you guys think in the comments down below the video or in the chat there. But I'm curious. Okay, so now we're gonna move on to literally the devil.
Oh,
okay.
We made it.
Yeah, we're gonna talk. Well, yeah, we're gonna talk about the devil. So a ranked arena of Solaire is now out worldwide, and it is back again for 1 month. And you are basically grinding your nuts
just for
off
1
in
month.
3v3 capped game mode, very competitive. Super fun for everyone that likes hurting themselves. But like, I'm curious what your thoughts. Blonde, have you played it at all?
No.
Okay, so Blonde hasn't played it at all because he's way smarter than both of the rest of us. I got baited into playing it by chat and had nothing but regret for like the rest of time. Like I legitimately it's a miserable experience. I played Awakening for the vast majority of all through my placements and everything, and like I did pretty well overall. But like I won my first 4, and then I spawned into the next one, and I should have known because Shaky Bay spawned in next to me on his Dosa, and from there it was downhill. And so like it was we ended up going 5-5. I'm just kidding. Shaky did just fine in that game. Dosa is just underpowered on the class, but like. We ended up going 5-5 in our placements overall, but then it was just a downhill slide into madness. Like it's just it's very competitive. I like practice AOS is a great way for new players to learn the game, and it's super fun. People can have fun with it and just relax, you know, and like learn the game mode. And you can't really warrant getting mad at people in practice AOS. But the ranked aspect of it, it reminds me of League of Legends.
It's so competitive.
Solo queue in League of Legends.
Oh yeah. Dude, people get so toxic.
Madness. The only thing that saved you was duo queue, and you can't duo queue.
Oh my gosh.
It's miserable. So Jay, you've played the most out of the three of us. I've played the intermediate amount. I've played probably 20 matches. Like Jay, how much have you played, and how are you enjoying it so far? Because this is your first time. To be clear, this is J-Kun VT. Okay, this guy doesn't PvP. He is like the PvE lord of the universe. Okay. And you've been trying a lot of PvP recently. You've been publishing all your AOS matches on YouTube. You're doing way more PvP than even I am a lot of the time. And so, like, I'm curious, what are your thoughts on AOS? What classes are you playing? I assume it's just Awakening Wusa, but, like, you know, let us know. And, like, how do you feel about it?
You know, I've never participated in any ranked Arena Solaris seasons in the past. I've done some practice matches here and there for funsies to queue with friends, but I could probably count the amount of matches I've done in the past with just 2 hands. But 2 to 3 weeks ago was when I seriously started to dedicate some time learning PvP and the dynamics of AOS, and after a lot of like encouragement from both my viewers and my friends. And with the upcoming season, you know, I've been practicing as much as I can, and I've learned so much. And I do like when you mentioned like League of Legends, that just like triggered something in my brain in the past, because I used to play a lot of League of Legends, and definitely there was one moment that like really that was like very reminiscent of it. I don't know if I should get into it, but
share it with us, Jay. Come on, share it with us, Jay.
Okay,
go ahead.
So I did have an experience recently that, you know, it reminded me one of the main reasons why I generally avoided PvP in BDO over the last 5 years that I've been playing. And the situation was that you know, I had grouped up with this particular person a few times because, you know, you're going to naturally match up
Yeah.
with or against the same people eventually, right? And, you know, communication is really important when coordinating with their team. And they had pretty much, you know, doubted my capabilities from the get-go, you know, pointing out my mistakes blatantly. And if I did do something wrong that was, if I did do something right that was acknowledgeable, like, you know, getting the CCs, we even won a 2v3 together, like surprisingly. But even that, it was like the comments would be on the condescending side of, oh, you finally did something, you know. That's like sugarcoating it. And you know, this this is extremely reminiscent of, I would even call it nostalgic, but in a negative way, to experience that I've had in League of Legends, which I used to love that game. And those experiences eventually discouraged me to the point where, you know, I did quit the game and quit League of Legends, and this experience was definitely pushing me towards that direction of doing less AOS or PvP in general. But I'm still having a lot of fun, not with AOS specifically, but more for the reason, like 90% of the reason why I'm having fun in AOS is not because of AOS, but because I'm learning about a class that I'm so passionate about, because I've never really explored PvP before, and PvE has only been the direction that I've explored before, right? And I think I've gotten a pretty good grasp of the PvE side of my class, but PvP side, it's like venture into the unknown, and this has been there's been a lot of ups and downs and interesting moments, but I've, you know, definitely, my experience in AOS has been overall more so on the positive side. You said it was the devil, but maybe because, you know, for me, I've finally been able to play a class that has been, how do you call it? So I used to play Witch, right? Awakening Witch specifically. And playing Awakening Witch in PvP was not the most fun because you just get grabbed. But at least on my Wusa, I can fly away. And so that has been the most fun part about PvP, is that I can, you know, kite, and finally on a class that I really enjoy. I've also had one particular comment that I should probably ignore, but um, it was related to my Wusa videos. They literally they told me, hey, they DM'd me. They said, can you stop posting your Awakening Wusa videos? She's not good at PvP. You're ruining my game. My
Oh my
by
gosh.
spreading misinformation about by your videos, by uploading them. I didn't respond to them, but I just thought it was wild that somebody came to that conclusion of me.
Buddy,
What?
I just have one response.
What?
First time?
First time, I guess so.
Bro,
Yeah, this is the first time that I've had that sort of accusation before, and I'm still trying to navigate my feelings on it. But you know, I just hope that these people who are acting like this, I hope they find peace from whatever it is.
Peace.
You get haters, Jay, that's how you know you really made it. When you
Oh
get haters.
my gosh.
Yeah, that is how it works. It doesn't matter how positive you are; people will just hate you.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter.
Yeah,
like,
I guess
It's toxic, man.
Right? So.
I make life skilling guides, Jay, and there are two responses to the life skilling guides. Okay, there's, oh my god, thank you so much. I just couldn't figure out how to do this. Hunting is so hard to get into. Really struggling with it. This guide helped me a tremendous amount. And then there's, stop making these fucking guides, man. You're ruining the market. Like, stop showing people how to do our shit. Like, and there's like no in between, bro. There's always some crazy people out there that are just gonna get really upset with you for like making guides, or just like putting out information on stuff because they're trying to gatekeep information.
Yeah.
Somebody reached out to me. They were like, "Hey, do you know anybody that, like, any content creators or like people that make like tamer guides or anything?" I'm like, "No, that's one of the most gatekept classes in BDO. So is LAN, believe it or not." Hey, go try to find a LAN guide that's like recent-ish and like is reasonable. You know what I mean? It's extremely difficult to do. Like, LANs are a really gatekept class too, even though it's extremely popular. In terms of like the little like nuances and mechanics that make people really good at like large scale and stuff. But like, yeah, Jay, don't be discouraged. You're killing it. That's how you know you're doing well. Like, I posted.
I see.
Yeah. I made an Awakening Dark Knight guide recently, and I just out of, because I knew it. I know my people. Okay, like look. I haven't played Dark Knight in years, but these are still my people. Okay, like I know these people because I played it for 3.5 years when I started the game, and they have not changed. If you don't know Dark Knight mains, there are actually 2 Dark Knight discords because they hate each other so much.
Wait,
They
really?
actually couldn't stand to all be in
There's
one
2.
Discord. So now there's 2
No
Dark
way.
Knight discords, and in those discords, there's many different screenshot like there's just a bunch of channels for different screenshots and stuff, and then in big bold letters before the screenshots it just says, stop posting NSFW pictures of your Dark Knight, we will ban you. You know what I mean? Like, so like this is like in both discords. And the thing about Dark Knights is they always think that they know how to play the class best, right? But like no one has put out a guide since Blade BoQuest. Like no, like literally like 7 to 8 year old guides. If you go look it up, there's just no guides on the class. And like, while I would generally agree there are better people to make guides for it, there aren't any guides. So like people asked me to make a Awakening Dark Knight guide, so I made it. But I knew it would make them. I knew it would just grind their gears. So I just went into the Dark Knight. I joined it because I wasn't even a part of it. Went in there and I just dropped it in the media channel and I left.
Oh my gosh.
Things. Like they're so mad. I woke up in the morning and the video had like 23 downvotes, and like there are all these hate comments on it. Like, oh my god, why wouldn't you just watch Lua? Oh my god, everything in this guide is wrong. I just went over the skills. Is your skill tree different? Is your Dark Knight skill tree different than every other Dark Knight skill tree? Please. Like,
oh my gosh.
It's absolutely. I can't believe a life skiller is making PvP content. This is bullshit. You know, like it's going absolutely ballistic because they can't handle it, man. It's like, Jay, you're doing it right. That's how you know you're doing it right. Okay, like this is you're nailing it, man. I also love the fact that you've been doing more YouTube content. Blonde Bear's a total loser because I don't even think he has a channel. On YouTube.
It has VODs, that's about it.
Yeah, we need to get you in on it. Blonde, you need to make an Awakening Berserker PvP guide. Please, God, please do that. Oh my God, please do that. Oh God, Blonde, it would hit. It would hit so hard.
So terribly hard.
Oh my God, it would hit so hard. It would get ratioed out of its mind. It would be so good. But all right, more to the point. Jay, I'm curious, what classes do you feel like are very strong in AOS right now?
Very strong.
How many matches have you done?
Instantly.
Jay, Jay, how many matches have you done?
In ranked, it says I've done about 30 matches in ranked so far. 20, yeah.
I've
so
done 21.
Not too much, but I've done a lot of like practice before then. So I'm trying to count in my head how many practices I've done. Maybe like close to like 30 or 40. So maybe in total, yeah, maybe in total like 70 or 80, combining both practice and ranked.
And what's your rank right now?
It is about 1300 right now.
Okay, I'm
so
12.
Not too high.
Yeah, I'm 1273 too.
We're just getting started.
Don't feel bad. Yeah, no, same, bro. It's all good. Like I was playing Awakening Witch until like 2 games ago, and then started playing Succession because I was like, I can't stand it anymore. Immediately started doing way better. So like class choice does make
for sure. Class choice is huge.
Here, so I'm gonna pull this up to fact check everything. But I'm curious what you think, Jay, in your first like 30 to 40 matches.
I mean, even without looking at Armin's tier list, like Zerkers.
Yeah,
dude, I'm so afraid when I see a Zerker on the other team. I'm so afraid.
Armin, I mean, Jay, why would you possibly say that Berserker is at all overpowered in the current metagame? Why would you think
so they're super fast. They have this grab where if you V in their grab, you're still in their grab, and you're just screwed. You're stuck in there. And they're like tanky, and when they're running around, they don't use any stamina, and so I'm trying to run away, but then they don't run out of stamina, and so I run out of stamina, and then they grab me, and then I'm sad. And pretty much. I'm sad.
Yeah, like so.
Good old Zergers.
I think so, yeah, because it's unkillable. I think primarily, like, not much else has changed about the class because of the DR and evasion reworks. Frontline classes are just unkillable, particularly Berserker. And I saw this coming in the patch notes when they started buffing Zerker's tankiness. I'm like, oh my god, the dude's just never gonna die. Uncapped, cap, doesn't matter. Can't kill him. Can't kill him. So like classic Blonde Bear playing Flavor of the Month loser Berserker as usual.
I'm a Dosa main.
Yeah,
I'm a Dosa main. Okay.
I'm a
Was it
Scholar
Scholar
Dosa.
Man? Yeah, was it Scholar Dosa?
Scholar
Scholar Dosa?
I don't
Scholar Dosa?
even know I don't even know my Zerker's name. I haven't played him in so long.
Okay, Jay,
What?
other than the obvious Succession Berserker, what else do you feel is like super, or just Berserker in general?
Okay. Whenever I see them, I'm still like really scared of them. Draconias, they're
Yeah,
they're really
Awakening
fast.
Draconias.
I basically every fast grab class I'm scared of.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I'm also really scared of tamers. Also, I'm traumatized by tamers. For some reason, they're standing like 10 feet away from me, and then 0.1 seconds later, they're next to me and they grab me. And so
Yeah.
I don't know
And
if
they
I
have-
Yeah, I
face
mean,
a
pretty much
really
any
good
grab
tamer,
class.
but they scare me as well whenever I see them on the other team.
Well, they're just infinitely protected. Now, you said Dracania, so I'm looking at Dracania. I was hoping that with the recent Dracania nerfs and Awakening, that we would see more Succession viability here. But you can see every single one of the top 20 Draconias in North America are actually all Awakening. There's not a single Succession, which means that the class is super balanced and it's fine, and we should sit like this for the next 8 months. So looks good. You said Tamer is really good too. You feel like Tamer is just like really, really good?
Yeah, and I don't know what the tier list is, but I'm just going off my experiences in the AOS matches that I've been in, and then whenever I see a Tamer on the other team, I'm just like really afraid because they can just instantly jump on me, they can grab me, and then they can just like one combo me. I have to V every time they grab me. And they're just jumping around in iframe, and I can't CC them. So
yeah, I've felt like personally, I think that Musa is obnoxious in AOS.
Musa.
I think that both specs of Musa are just absolutely stupid. They're so annoying.
Really?
High
They can kill
damage,
you
very
from
protected.
standing. They don't even need to CC. That's why they're all just bad players. Like they literally they don't even have to use the CC skills. They just stand there and kill you. It doesn't even matter. It's annoying. They're obnoxious. And I don't know. I don't really feel like Shy. I feel like Shy is strong in AOS, but I feel like you can definitely like reasonably play around it. It's strong. It's frustrating to deal with. I don't really think it needs to be adjusted necessarily in AOS though. It's pretty good though. Pretty good. Awakening Striker. Also crazy. Awakening Striker is very powerful, but again, the frontline classes are kind of killing it. I would assume that Succession Mystic is really good too. I've seen 2 or 3 of those, and like there's just unkillable like beasts.
Succession, really?
Yeah,
I've been seeing more Awakening Mystic, at least in my games, and they have this like really good vacuum skill that is a little bit scary.
Yeah, so the vast majority of people that are playing it say Succession through the top 6 are all Succession, and then there's a couple Awakening, but you're not wrong. You can technically make Awakening work. It's really hard. I feel like Succession is just strictly better because the damage in Succession, you can also just stand protected. Succession Mystic is one of the only classes you can just spam one skill and just be full super armored for the rest of the time. Like literally Skull Basher, you can just hit F and just let her kick up in the air, and then it lingers. And she sets her foot down, and then you do it again. Like that's it. And you can just stay protected the whole time. And you got a lot of good movement and stuff. So just really, really solid class overall. But let's take a look at Armin's tier list here. Because Armin is kind of like the AOS guy. Okay. Armin is like
that real quick.
What? Oh yeah, hold on. Oh no, you're not allowed to have this because I was trying to ambush you with it. Like a loser. Okay, so to be clear, Armin has been the rank 1 AOS leader for like the past I'm fairly
kind of crazy
seasons. He may not have been the very top at the end of the season last season, but like he was also rank 1 on EU for a little while as well. Like the dude is just an absolute animal. And in terms of like game knowledge and AOS prowess, Armin's kind of the go-to guy for all of this stuff. Absolute unit. So like I respect his opinion on what he feels is the strongest. And to be clear, Armin is a die-hard ninja main. Like he's been a ninja for all of time. He has never forsaken his class. The dude is absolutely just a ninja main, and he's playing Succession Berserker. Still third. Yeah. But no shade, still third. But like he's playing Succession Berserker in AOS right now, and you'll notice he's got 5 wins. The class is stupid. The class is silly. So he's got that as the rank 1 class. And then he's got Awakening Draconia, Awakening Valkyrie, which we always knew was strong.
Valkyrie, that's surprising.
Yeah, Valk is really good. Oh no, Valkyrie's like one of the best
really?
small
Yeah.
classes. Oh yeah, no, it's stupid.
It's high skill
They
ceiling.
just keep buffing it. The reason you don't see it very often is because most Valkyries are terrible. They like if they're a good Valkyrie, oh, dude, your team's gonna have such a hard time against the enemy team if they have a really good Valkyrie. If they have a bad Valkyrie, oh, you're just gonna farm them. It's gonna be fine. No big deal. You don't even notice anything if it's a bad Valkyrie. And most Valkyries, at least in North America, are not very good. In Europe, it's kind of a different story. He's got Awakening Nova in the S plus tier 2. I haven't actually seen an Awakening Nova yet. It's kind of uncommon for me, but I don't know.
Are they very hard to play in comparison to the other ones?
Well, yeah, because it's hard to get enough drugs to actually play the class for an extended period of time.
I see.
Yeah. Succession Kuno really far up this list. Awakening Striker, Awakening Musa, Shy, Awakening Megu, Awakening Tamer. There's your Tamer. Awakening Berserker and Awakening Hash are all in the S tier. He's got Scholar in the A tier, which I find funny because everyone bitched about how Scholar is like this S plus tier class. I haven't struggled too much against Scholar. Yes, the healing passive is annoying. You just can't heal a whole lot. Maybe it's just because I'm a witch and I can get my health back anyway. I don't care. But like, I don't really struggle too much against the Scholar. Yes, it kind of means that the match has a time limit on it because like you can't get health back. But like, yeah, I haven't. It's good. But like, I don't really feel like it's like oppressive, like people kind of led me to believe. Awakening Sage, I would consider. I think he's got this kind of low. I forgot about Awakening Sage. Every time I've had an Awakening Sage in my game, like whoever's team that guy is on, they just win automatically. It has infinite damage. It's got a grab. It's got movement out the ass. People always say, "Oh, it's got low stamina," but it's not low enough stamina that you can't like kite around an AOS. That's like, it's just insane. Like the class is just out of control good, in my opinion. But he's got it in the A tier here as well. Succession of Mewa.
Where's Warrior at?
Wusa, no
Awakening
there.
Warrior.
Awakening Kuno and Succession Wusa. You're playing Awakening Wusa, right, Jay?
I am, yeah.
I have good news for you.
Yeah. What's the good news?
Every single time you lose, Jay, you can blame it on the fact that your class is C tier.
I see.
Yeah,
but what happens if I win?
Yeah, it's just then you can say that you're just that good. It's the same strategy as Awakening Witch because we're both in the same tier. We're both in the same tier, Jay. Awakening Witch is actually somehow worse than your class. Remarkably.
Oh, really?
Remarkably.
Okay.
Yeah. So like, and is that Awakening Dark Knight? Oh my god, the two classes that I play are literally the bottom two next to Archer. No wonder I'm having a hard time, man. Like, dude, I am struggling, man. Holy moly, dude. Like, oh my god. I have not actually brought Dark Knight into AOS yet, but now this makes me not want to. But like Awakening Witch is, yeah, I would generally concur with this statement. Succession Coursera, yeah. Succession Ranger is just barely around Awakening Musa, but like, Jay, you're making it work, right? Like you're, like, I don't know what your win-loss is. You're like right around 1,300. You're in the,
I am
in the top
15
All right.
wins, 14 losses right now.
Okay, so you're
1 hour is
right.
up.
Oh, Jay,
I'm positive.
Let's see what we got.
Jay, if you make it into the top 20, you are the best Awakening Wusa on the server.
Top 20? I
Yeah,
don't know if I can reach that.
There is not a single Awakening Wusa on the entire server in the top 20. Okay, so like, all you got to do is make it to top 20 and you're good. Okay,
I see.
Here's what you do. You play Succession. You play
Easier said than done.
J. You play Succession all the way until you get to like 17th, and then you play one game of a.
All right. Let's see what we got. I have no idea how well I did that hour. Just kind of zoned out, listened to the podcast. Let's see. Grind tracker. 7. I didn't get a single tongue grind ring that time. So I made a whopping 452 million. Isn't that awesome? There we go. But all right, peace.
Sunsets on black desert sky. It's just you and I. Weapons ready, no good.